All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Atlanta Falcons. So last year they finished 7 and 10 in the NFC South. That's not going to happen this year. All right. They have been setting the foundation for actually a couple of off seasons now. They continue to do so this past, or actually current off season. They had a phenomenal draft, getting guys like Bijan Robinson. I take a look at this team just on paper, and I'll look at a cat like Desmond Ritter, who I fully believe, and we'll talk about that later on in the video. I look at a running back duo of Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson, a future Hall of Famer, paired up with Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I have so much excitement for this Atlanta Falcons team. In fact, I kind of view this team as the bullies of the NFC South, and I would not be surprised in the slightest if they won 10 football games this upcoming season, especially with their schedule. But I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I actually anticipate the Falcons will be above 500. I think they'll win at least 9 games this upcoming season. And to be quite frank with you guys, I wouldn't be shocked if they won between 10 and 12 football games next season. All right, we're going to talk about all that in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. This is actually my first ever Atlanta Falcons video. So if we could try and get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the world to me. If you want more Falcons content, let me know down below. But seriously, I love what this Falcons squad is doing. I love what Arthur Smith is building. I just genuinely think their last couple of off seasons, they have been setting the foundation and just honestly continuing to build on it. And I look at this team, both sides of the football, man, they're so aggressively physical. This is just a physical bunch of players. And let's take a look at their offseason real quick, all right? They made some big time freaking moves. I think when we take a look at their offseason, considering this is my first ever Falcons video, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give them a grade of an A. All right. You picked up Calais Campbell. You picked up Jesse Bates III, even guys like Mac Hollins, Jonnu Smith, Scotty Miller, Bud Dupree. They do something for me. You know, the Falcons, they have a plan, they have a vision, and they are sticking to it. But clearly, it all kind of comes together. It all falls with Desmond Ritter. All right. And we take a look at Desmond Ritter, his 4 games that he played last season with Atlanta. I think, don't let the statistics fool you. The statistics will actually paint not the worst picture. They'll say, like, all right, 63.5 completion percentage. Keep in mind, he only played 4 games, 708 yards. So passing yards per game, that only equates to 177 yards per game, but he did have 2 touchdowns. He had 0 interceptions. And when we look specifically more at that last game against Tampa Bay, where he went 19 to 30, he had 2 touchdowns, 224 yards. That is the Desmond Ritter I know coming out of Cincinnati, coming out of college. If we turn the clock back, if we rewind 1 whole year ago, there were several NFL analysts coming out here and saying Desmond Ritter is the best quarterback you can select in the draft class. All right. And we saw 13 games of Marcus Mariota, and I love Mr. Marcus Mariota. I thought Mariota actually, I remember him playing at Oregon. Actually, I thought he was going to be a freaking stud. But he played 13 games for you, and then Desmond finishes off the season. I'm telling you, don't let the statistics fool you. Don't let the 177 yards per game, the only 2 touchdowns, don't let it fool you. This man looked poised, all right? He genuinely looked poised in the pocket like he had played several NFL seasons. The good news for the Atlanta Falcons is, I will say this, they have surrounded him with pieces. All right. And even guys like Mac Hollins. I covered the Raiders last season. Mac Hollins is a reliable pass catcher. Okay. Jonnu Smith, pair him up with Kyle Pitts. You have Mr. Drake London, who is coming off a very under-respected rookie season. Now I have a running back punch duo of Bijan Robinson, who, if you caught at the beginning of this video, I called him a future Hall of Famer. I fully believe that. And Tyler Algier, who had a great rookie season. In fact, he averaged 4.9 yards per carry and over 1,000 rushing yards on just 210 attempts. He had 13 attempts per game and finished with over 1,000 yards. 4.9 yards per carry. So I look at Atlanta and I'm thinking, all right, Arthur Smith's put himself in a good position because you've surrounded your hopefully future QB with the proper pieces, the proper weapons, both on the ground, the offensive line, the tight end position. I am a huge Kyle Pitts stan, by the way. I think he is a freaking stud. A healthy Kyle Pitts is or will be one of the best tight ends in the National Football League. All right. I know I live here in Southwest Florida. I'm from Chicago. This is unbiased. Kyle Pitts is that freaking dude. And Falcons fans know that. The Falcons offense, they have plenty of weapons that we're going to see this upcoming season. What can Arthur Smith and Desmond Ridder make of their current weapons? And by the time the season ends, to be honest with you, to be frank, once again, we'll know exactly what Atlanta is about. We'll know exactly. Is Ridder the man? Or is he not the man? Once again, I believe fully Desmond Ridder is that dude. Listen, Arthur Smith had 2 top 10 scoring offenses in his 2 years as offensive coordinator with the Tennessee Titans. This was with Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback and Derrick Henry as the running back. I think we are going to see a breakout Falcons offense next season. In fact, if we had to narrow down offenses or honestly just teams in general that are ready to break out, Atlanta's certainly on my top 5 list. They're certainly on my top 5 list. And defensively, we could talk about a bunch of different players. The trend is still the same. These are physical guys getting it done on both sides of the football in the trenches. And I look at even pieces like Troy Anderson, who's coming off a phenomenal rookie season, 17 games played, 69 total tackles. This guy is a freak athlete. That's my point here. On both sides of the football, Bijan Robinson, Troy Anderson, to name 2 players, they have freaks. Like, seriously, they have athletic freaks on both sides of the football. And once those things come together, once the coach, how do you measure a good coach? What can he get out of players? What can he get out of it? Can he maximize your potential? Can he maximize your efficiency? I see no reason why the Falcons coaches can't do that. I love it. All right. Speaking of the defense, they hired former New Orleans Saints defensive line coach and co-defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen to run their defense. And once again, we go back to guys like Calais Campbell, Jesse Bates III, Bud Dupree. Those are just 3 to name an example after. They did a good job in the draft as well. Their main highlights, Bijan Robinson, Matthew Bergeron, Zach Harrison out of Ohio State, who I'm extremely excited about. Like, if we just look at the Falcons as a whole, this is a team that knows what they're doing. They're sticking to their plan. And once again, even if their plan doesn't work out, specifically with Desmond Ridder, well, now you know. If the Falcons next season only win 5 games, if they only win 6 games, if they have a worse season than they did this past year, well, now you know. And you can go from there. But once again, I don't see that happening. The Falcons finished 7-10 last season. They still had a top 16. They still had a top half NFL offense. That defense is only going to improve. And that offense, especially with their new pieces and a second-year Desmond Ridder, is only going to improve as well. So I'm feeling very bullish on this team. I'm going to put their win-loss at least 9. I think the more optimistic route would be 10-11. Falcons fans, NFL fans, let me know if I'm getting a little too ahead of myself, but I like what the Falcons are building right now. So hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Once again, Falcons fans, if you guys want more Falcons videos, let me know down below. This was my first ever Falcons video, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So let me know.